So how do you turn your marketing spend from this kind of mysterious cost into a predictable, scientific engine for growth? That's the million-dollar question in business, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to build the blueprint to answer it, step by step.
You know the feeling. We've all been there. You're pouring money into campaigns, into content, into ads, but when you look at the bottom line, it just feels like you're tossing money into a black hole with no idea what's really coming back. The good news? It really doesn't have to be that way.
I want you to think of this explainer as your strategic roadmap. Together, we're going to move out of that fog of marketing uncertainty and into the clear skies of measurable success and real sustainable growth.
Okay, first things first. Every great journey starts with a solid plan. Before you can even think about measuring anything, you've got to know what you're building and why you're building it. This first section is all about laying that absolutely crucial strategic foundation. Now, strategy can sound like this big, complicated thing, but it doesn't have to be. It really just boils down to three core pillars. First, you got to define your objectives. What are we actually trying to achieve here, and does it help the business as a whole? Second, you have to know your audience. Who are we really talking to? And third, you allocate your budget based on those first two answers. Simple as that.
All right, our strategy is set. Now it's time to open up the toolkit. We're going to look at the essential metrics that will basically act as your compass on this journey, telling you if you're actually heading in the right direction.
First up, we've got customer acquisition cost, or CAC. Put simply, how much does it cost you in total to get one brand new customer to buy from you? And I mean everything: ad spend, salaries, software costs, the whole shebang. And on the flip side of that coin, you have customer lifetime value, or CLV. So once you've got that customer, what are they actually worth to you over their entire relationship with your business? This metric is huge because it shifts your focus from just a single sale to long-term value.
And right here, this is the golden ratio. This is the core dynamic of any healthy business. Think of CAC as your investment and CLV as your return. It's pretty straightforward. You just can't have a sustainable business if it costs you more to get a customer than that customer will ever be worth. The goal, the absolute non-negotiable goal, is to keep your CLV way, way higher than your CAC.
Finally, let's zoom in and get really specific with return on ad spend, or ROAS. This one is super direct and tactical. For every single dollar you put into a Facebook ad or a Google campaign, how many dollars in revenue did you get back? It's the quickest, clearest way to see which ads are crushing it and which ones are just not.
Okay, so we've got the basic tools in our belt. Now it's time for some advanced navigation. This part is all about looking beyond those surface-level numbers to really understand the why, to understand the complex, messy journey your customers are taking.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Think about it. A customer might see a post on social media, then read a blog a week later, get an email from you, and then finally click on a search ad to buy. The journey is never a straight line, and our job is to understand how all those pieces fit together.
So, how do you give credit where credit is due? Well, the old school way is called single-touch attribution. It gives 100% of the credit to the very last thing a customer did before buying. It's like only giving credit to the striker who scored the goal and totally ignoring the rest of the team who passed them the ball. Multi-touch attribution, on the other hand, is way more sophisticated. It distributes credit across all the different touch points, giving you a much more accurate picture of what's actually driving your sales.
And hey, it's not just about the sale. We have to understand how customers feel about us. The Net Promoter Score is an incredible tool for this. It all boils down to one simple question. How likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? The people who say yes, your promoters, they become your engine for organic growth.
Now, let's be realistic. You can't track all of this with a pen and a piece of paper. To truly navigate this data journey, you need the right technology. So, let's head down to the engine room. This is what we call your marketing tech stack. Think of it as a connected system. Your CRM is your central hub for all customer data. Marketing automation platforms lets you scale your communication. Analytics tools like Google Analytics show you what people are actually doing. And then you have tools like CDPs, customer data platforms, that bring all this scattered data together so you finally have one single unified view of your customer. It's a game changer.
All right, finally, none of these tools, none of these metrics matter one bit if they don't lead to action. You see, measuring ROI isn't the destination. It's about building a culture of continuous learning and constant improvement.
I really want to drive this point home. This isn't some report you run once a quarter and then forget about. No, it's a living, breathing process. The data you collect today
isn't the finish line of the last race. It's the starting line for the next one.
And this creates this amazing, powerful cycle of optimization. You measure the data, you analyze it for insights, you use those insights to tweak and optimize your strategy, you adapt, and then you do it all over again. It's a loop that just keeps making your marketing smarter and more effective over time.
But remember, the tools and the processes are only half the battle. You need a team culture that supports this system, a culture where decisions are backed by data, where the team is flexible and adaptable, and where the customer is at the absolute center of every single choice. And that includes a deep commitment to using their data ethically.
So let's bring it all home. When you have this clear blueprint, when you combine a smart strategy, the right metrics, powerful technology, and a results-driven culture, marketing stops feeling like an expense. It stops being a question mark on a spreadsheet. It becomes exactly what it's meant to be, a predictable, powerful engine for your company's growth.
Every click, every purchase, every single interaction, it's all part of a larger story that your data is trying to tell you. This blueprint we've walked through, it gives you the tools to finally understand the language it's speaking. So the only real question left is, are you ready to listen?